Okay, this is to show you how to create that metallic portrait effect with the added texture that I actually did not put on the handout. I think I wrote it in later on. There's also a couple things that I changed from the tutorial, not much, but in order to make it better. So this is the final um, metallic portrait or tintype portrait that I did of Lucas. Thank you, Lucas. They're supposed to mimic a tintype. So, if you Google tintype and you take a look at some of the tintype portraits, tintype photography was one of the first readily available forms of photography for a common person. Daguerreotype was the first type of photograph, and that was kind of like on a glass surface, whereas a tintype was on a flattened piece of metal. And they've become very popular now. You can see, I thought I saw a picture of Kevin Bacon somewhere. There's Kevin Bacon in a tintype. So that has become very popular. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a tintype effect, and then we will print ours on the metallic paper. So back to Photo P, I'm going to use this picture of Allie Jordan, who graduated last year. So before you even get started, what I want you to do is make sure you resize your image, do any kind of skin softening. And if you don't remember how to skin soften, watch the skin softening video and do any kind of sharpening and cropping before you get to this point. This is kind of like your last step, okay? So once you have finished all of that, your levels, contrast, cropping, all of that, you are going to open it up and you're going to duplicate your background. So background is highlighted, Control J in order to duplicate your image. You can, in the handout, I said that you can rename this. You can keep it layer 1, that's fine. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to change the blending mode. So we're going to change this layer 1 to overlay. Kind of gives it a very dark sharpen, but don't get scared. Then we're going to go to filter. We are going to go to other. And then we're going to go to high pass. And you're going to set the radius between 5 and 7 points. Between 5 and 7 because this is your photo. So depending on what your photo looks like, you can decide how you want it to be. I decided I want mine to be super sharp, so I'm putting it at 7. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go to the adjustment layers, and you're going to go to our gradient mixer, or I'm sorry, gradient map. Click on that. That is going to create your image to be black and white. If you click on this like little black and white gradient right here, it's going to bring up another pop-up. You could move these in order to change your black and white points. It's up to you. I like how mine looks already. I'm not going to touch it. So I'm going to move on to the next step. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to merge visible the layers that we have. So we're going to go Control-Alt-Shift-E. And when I do that, you're going to see your background, your layer 1 in the gradient map, and then you'll see that layer 1. So that's all of those layers, but merged together. All right. If you're following the handout, it's going to ask you to add a high pass filter, but I am not going to, we're going to take that part out. We're going to go directly to the fill layer. So I'm going to go to step 8 and I'm going to go to layer. And I'm going to go to new fill layer and I'm going to go to color fill. And you're going to look for sepia. So sepia is a brownish color. So I'm going to go with like a darker sort of brown. Let's see. So you can scroll through to find the color and then use that little circle to find the value. Yes, I kind of like, let's see how this works. All right. Once you have added that color fill, we're going to drop the opacity of this layer. And again, this is your photo, so you decide how you want to drop the opacity. And you can even, I don't have this in the directions, but if you want to go and you want to change your blending option, you also can change your blending option. It depends if you want to have that, like how you want the effect to be, if you want it to have more of that like cloudy sort of effect, or if you want it to be a little bit sharper. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add a vignette. If you are working in Photoshop, you have easy options within your filters to add a vignette. In Photopea, you don't have this. So this is the best way to add a vignette in Photopea. You're going to add a new blank layer, which is down at the bottom right-hand side. So that's your new layer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my elliptical marquee tool, or elliptical select in Photopea, and I'm going to create a circle around my photo, or an oval around my photo. Okay. And once I have selected that, I want to inverse my selection so that I'm selecting the outside and not the inside. So you go to select and you go to inverse. Then what I am going to do is I am going to fill that, that circle. So in my foreground background, I'm going to make sure it's black to white. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to get my paint bucket and I'm going to fill that with black. All right. Once you have done that, you're going to go Control D in order to deselect. And I'm going to go up to my filter. I'm going to go to blur, and I'm going to go to Gaussian blur. And I want to blur that black frame, or that vignette, until it has softened around all the edges. So you can keep going until it is to your liking. Computer's running a little bit slow. All right. Once you like the blur, then what you're going to do is you are going to change the opacity of the vignette. So go to opacity, and then I'm going to drop that down. And you can decide how you want it to look. So that is the first half of the metallic portrait. Your next step then, if you want to add that kind of oldie time sort of look, tintype look, is you're going to go to File and you're going to open up the downloaded piece of paper. So it's the tintype texture. And I'm going to go Control A to select, Control C to copy, and then I'm going to go Control V to paste, and that's going to become a new layer. It's very tiny though. So you're going to go to Edit, you're going to go to Free Transform, and you're going to pull from the outer edges. And press Enter in order to accept the transformation. And then once you do that, you can change your blending option. And you can also change the opacity if you want. And I'm actually going to go back to my sepia layer because I want to bring down the opacity of the sepia as well. All right, there you go. That is my tintype portrait. So here is the before. Let's see, I'll clear all this up. Before. Whoop, that still has a texture. And then the after. Well, I would show you, but my computer is running so very slow, so I can't do that. Anyways, that's it. So save it as a JPEG if you are finished editing it, and work on your other photos. And then your best of the four, we will print out, or maybe even print out two on the metallic paper, which will hopefully look really cool. So good luck.